Let's talk about fake friends. More specifically, those individuals within our lives who are fronting to be something that they truly are not. Now, I do want to make it clear that in this specific video, I will be covering one specific topic, one specific telltale sign that an individual is indeed a fake friend. Now, I could have gone down the route of going down a major list, but those ones are too obvious. And as a matter of fact, I think this one is the most important one we need to recognize in order for us not to continue to go through life brokenhearted, disappointed, and not understanding why those around us are not there when we thought they would be there. Or all of a sudden we start to quote unquote see people's true colors when indeed they were showing those colors all along, which is why I'm not going to go through, betrayal, going behind your back, things of that nature that are just so obvious. Instead, I want to cover this one specific telltale sign that an individual is indeed a fake friend. And that is when you have an individual in your life who every time you say you're going to finally change an aspect of your life, you're finally going to be more positive, you're going to stop complaining and start being grateful, you're going to start developing a habit that is more productive, more empowering, something that builds you up as opposed to destroying you, and the person in your life who calls himself a friend is looking to bring you back into old habits in any form or fashion, that individual is not a true friend. Now, I'm not going to say that every person who does this is doing it intentionally. However, in more cases than not, it's what we do subconsciously that makes us who we are. And so when an individual is ruled by their own insecurities, they're basically going to have no other place, space, no other way of expressing themselves but to place that insecurity onto others. When an individual is insecure within themselves, they know nothing but to place that insecurity onto other people. When they have those wounds that are unhealed and they're not willing to do the work, they're going to bleed all over everybody around them. That's just the truth, the gospel truth, and nothing but that truth. I wish it was any other way. I wish it wasn't so. I wish it wasn't that we all have to do that internal work in order for us to truly be productive, fruitful. When an individual is insecure within themselves, they have no choice but to leak that insecurity onto other people, to project it onto those around them in different forms. And one of those forms is within their friendships, quote unquote friendships. When an individual is insecure within themselves, they cannot help but project those insecurities onto others. When they feel as if they are not enough, they're going to look for ways to feel as if other people are below them or at least at the very same level as them. And the only way they can do that, especially when it comes to the context of a friendship, is to bring that person into a space, into a place where they can recognize them. So, a clear example. You finally made a decision that you're going to start eating healthier. Let's say for years upon years, you were filling your body up with toxins. You were filling up with the McDonald's and the Jack in the Box and the KFCs and whatever else you were probably doing at midnight, 1 or 2 a.m., things that you knew you shouldn't have been doing, but you were doing them, and it became a habit. And so you find yourself in a place where you put on some extra pounds, maybe a few extra pounds or a whole lot of pounds, and now you decided that you want to be healthy. You want to change your life for the better. You want to start going to the gym. You want to change the way your body not only looks, but also feels. And you want to do that for you. And so you make the decision and you start telling those around you, hey, look, I'm going to start changing the way I eat. And the best way I can do that is by being around better foods, right? So I don't want to go to certain restaurants anymore. I don't want to go to certain places anymore. And now, when you have somebody in your life, you may think to yourself, well, that's my best friend, that's my whoever it is, and I don't want them to feel as if like I'm changing or I'm switching up on them, right? And so you might think to yourself, well, maybe it's too much to tell them that I'm not going to go to these places. Maybe I should just go to the KFC with them, but not eat the chicken. But I'm going to tell you this, when you're in a place where you're changing a habit, the greatest thing you can change is your environment. Like, I'm not saying you can't overcome an environment, but when you're truly changing, when you're going to transform yourself from the inside out, the best thing you can do is change your external environment as you're changing your internal environment. Because that KFC is going to be a trigger. If you walk up in that KFC, you smell the KFC, it's going to change the whole game for you. You back onto the wings and the thighs and the drumsticks and whatever else they got going on. I say wings. I don't even know if they do wings, but you're going to be doing whatever they're doing in KFC. And so, when you are, again, making that change within yourself, the best thing you can do is to let the people that you love know, right? They should be understanding. The people around you should, at the very least, support you in a way where they say, okay, I'm not about to, force you to come to places that you don't want to be at, or that's not going to help you out. Or you might say, I want to sleep a little earlier, so I can't go to the club every Saturday and Sunday and Friday and Monday and Tuesday. So I'm going to be, at the house, wake up a little earlier so I can get to the gym. That's the only time maybe I could make some time for the gym, is to wake up a little earlier. And so you make that decision. Now, you got two types of individuals in your life. One, which is the rarest type of individual, is going to say, you know what? That's incredible. That's amazing. Like, I'm for it. I'm for you. You go, girl. You go, boy. Do your thing. That's the rarest type of individual you can find in this earth, and that's a true friend. As a matter of fact, you might even find somebody who is inspired by what you're doing and is going to join you on this journey, on this conquest of life. If you got that type of person, keep them around for the rest of eternity. I don't give a damn what happens. If you got somebody that supportive, they're going to support you in a multitude of different ways, and y'all can support each other. Now, the second type of person you have, which is the most frequented, or the most frequented, that's not the word I'm looking for. It's the most likely type of situation, most likely type of scenario, is the individual who first will agree. Say, okay, that's dope, that's what you're doing, etc. But as soon as an opportunity comes up, they will invite you to the KFC. They're going to invite you to the club. They're going to say, you know what? I don't know, like, it seems like you're taking these things way too serious, and, have some fun, right? They're going to find different ways to guilt trip you back into the same behavioral patterns, whatever that looks like. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be a blatant, hey, you know what? Like, you're doing too much, like, have some fun, loosen up, let's go to the club tonight, like you're playing. And they might even press the issue. They might press and press and press and not take no for an answer. And because you're so fresh in this new place, in this new headspace, you might just curve, you might swerve, you might, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm being too serious. Maybe I'm not having enough fun. And so you fall right back into that same place that you once were. But in more cases, you're going to find the subliminal. I just want to spend some time with you. I just want to hang with you. And by the way, you can find this in any type of relationship. It's not just friendships. It's any intimate relationship, etc. Anywhere where there is relationship. Whether there's family members, intimate, or friendship. So again, you'll find, a subtle coercion, a subtle influence, where an individual is maybe throwing out different subtle forms of guilt tripping. A little, I don't know, it's just, I really miss you and I just want to spend time with you. And, we used to love doing this together. And it may seem so innocent on the surface, y'all. And like I said, it's not always malicious. However, that is not friendship. That is not kinship. That is not relationship. This is an individual, whether unconsciously or consciously, is looking to bring you back into habits that are destructive for you. Now, if you don't have the wherewithal within yourself and the self-respect to keep your own promises, you're already going to find yourself slipping anyway. Like, you don't need anybody to mess with your psyche or mess with your mentals. You don't need anybody to do that work for you. You're probably doing it already by yourself. But what I'm talking about is when you've made your decision, your concrete decision, and you've actually maybe started taking a few steps or a lot of steps towards that goal, right? Which is why some people choose not even to tell anybody. They start going to the gym on secret. They say, oh, I'm busy, I got work, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden, they come out with a new body. They come out with new habits. And now it's so hard to change those habits, no matter what anybody says. They just start to see people's true colors, right? They start to see that they've lost now the 25 pounds. Their friends looking at them weird. And now things are clicking, it's making sense, and now they want to guilt trip you. But Where most of us find ourselves is we want to find, support in the immediate, like in the decision that we made. I'm deciding to be healthier, and therefore I would definitely like that the people around me at least know that this is the way that I'm going, so they can either choose to support or get out the way. And again, this type of individual, a fake friend, because that's the only true terminology I know how to use right now. I'm not going to call them an enemy per se, but they're acting in the way that an enemy would, which is to bring you into sabotage, to essentially want the worst for you. And in reality, they are an enemy to others only because they're an enemy to themselves. They are their own worst enemy. Therefore, they want you to be the very same thing for yourself. An individual who is not taking care of their body, not taking care of their mind, not taking care of any aspect of themselves is an enemy to themselves. And so they cannot help but bring you into that place that they know too well. That's the reality of the situation. And so you have to make a decision for yourself. Number one, am I going to share this news and see what things are from the beginning, which I would recommend? If I was in your shoes, I would want to see who is truly on my squad and who is not, who is for me and who is, for their own destruction and for everybody else's destruction, basically. And how I would see that is once I make my claim, once I say what I'm going to do, the changes that I'm looking to make, how do they respond? Again, it might not show immediately, but it's going to gradually and quickly, right? It might not happen on the spot. On the spot, they might say, oh, that's great, that's amazing. But once you start taking the steps, once you start rejecting the invite and you start inviting them to, let's say, the gym, or start inviting them, to get Chipotle as opposed to KFC, or, getting the salad at the salad bar instead of the Chick-fil-A or whatever it may be, right? You start to invite them to places and you see, oh man, no, you're doing too much. You're taking this too serious. These types of comments may seem so subtle and so simple and so innocent, but when you look at them, their intention, that's when you start to see what they truly are saying. When you read between the lines, when somebody says you're taking some too serious and you need to ease off, in most cases is because they don't want you getting the result of the thing that you're doing. Somebody who wants you to get a result, like a coach, is going to say, go in, double down. Go all the way in. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Don't stop. Get it, get it. If you got somebody who's supportive in your life, they're going to want you to absolutely go after the things that you desire in this life. But when you got somebody who is working against your progress, that person is going to tell you to slow up. They're going to tell you to switch up. They're going to tell you that you're doing the most. They're going to tell you that, you're selfish. They're going to use all kinds of means of mental gymnastics, of Jedi mind tricks, of manipulation, straight up manipulation in some cases, to make sure that you come back to a place that they recognize. Because that's all they can see. That's the only way they can get that sense of validation for their own place in life. And once you start getting results, you're going to really see who's for you and against you. But again, this isn't to make your focus on, becoming skeptical and becoming paranoid and watching people with the stank eye, whatever. Like, that's not the intention of this. The intention of this is so you can make the best decisions for yourself, so you can make not just educated, but discerned decisions with your intuition. Follow your intuition. You already saw red flags probably in the beginning. You didn't follow them, or you were just like that person to begin with, right? We are what we attract what we are. Therefore, you find yourself in a certain place in your life where you were attracting people who were into the things that you were into. You were attracting yourself. Now you're changing, you're switching. And so your internal environment's changing. And so you need to change that external environment with it. That's your declaration to the universe that I'm really serious about this. I'm really about this change. I'm about this life. And as soon as you make that decision, everything else is going to click into gear. Everything else is going to start moving for you. You're going to start getting the helping hand of the entire universe backing you in whatever it is you desire. Whether you're starting a business, again, working on your body, you are devoting yourself to being the healthiest person within relationships, whatever it is that you are after in your life, the universe is already behind you. But you stop and you block your blessings when you stay in environments that you've already outgrown. And so you have to be honest with yourself. This person right here, or is this person feeding, fueling, or destroying and toxifying my environment. I appreciate you for watching this video. If this was of absolute value to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel immediately. If you would like to support the channel, go down in the description. We got a merch store, absolutely dope merch, and you can send money directly to Cash App to your boy so we can continue pumping out this amazing content. But right now, I will be building out some sort of course for the people just to truly get into the weeds of things. Like, something in depth that's actually going to transform you inside out, give you complete understanding, give you the tools, the processes, and basically shift your life, like be a guide in your life. So until then, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me right now as I have opened my calendar right now. If you're watching this, hopefully I still have the time and the bandwidth to do so. But if you want to book a time, you can also go in the description below, click on my Calendly link, book a time, book a day that works for both of us, and let's get to it. I appreciate you. I love you. Peace.